What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of viewer-suggested ride designs. If you never watched this channel or this series before, basically what I do is I take suggestions from Rollercoaster Tycoon fans and I build their suggestions for roller coasters. And that's basically what this video is. So this suggestion comes from Dylan. Dylan suggested to build an Armageddon themed inverted coaster. Call it 2020 The End. Seems appropriate, Dylan. That's a good idea. And yeah, so that's what we're doing today. So I went ahead and just did an inverted coaster, and did take a few tries. I'm not gonna lie. I think this one. I'm honestly, inverted coasters are not my favorite. I don't love the fact that you have to have a 3 space support or whatever, clearance limit, whatever that's called. And, you know, just generally it's just hard to make them look the way that I want them to. So inverted coasters are, this one ended up being fine. I think it looks okay. Little spaghetti bowl looking thing. But obviously I picked this one because it's hilarious. This is the funniest suggestion I've ever gotten so far. And I've gotten some good suggestions. This one's pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. Very appropriate for the year, I think. It's the end of the world, so we're making the end of the world roller coaster. That seems about right. So this one, it wasn't honestly too tough. I think I was able to kind of get what I was going for, and this is pretty self-explanatory. Armageddon, I kind of took that as apocalyptic in a way, or an apocalyptic themed coaster or something. So that's what I went with here. And I'm not sure why I chose blue and red as the theme. I realized that a lot of my coasters tend to be a little boring colored. Like I tend to go with black, gray, white, blue, you know, pretty often. I don't really mix it up in terms of color scheme, so I thought I'll make it a little bit interesting here. I at least went with the darker blue and the darker red to at least make it seem end of the world you know, Armageddon-y. And yeah, so basically the idea I had was like a futuristic themed apocalyptic looking thing, and which was, honestly, that's a tougher thing to achieve than you might think. It kind of looks a bit industrial, but also I went with some dead trees to kind of look like a nuclear thing happened. You know, like that's sort of, every time I build a coaster or a park or a ride or whatever, I try and like build a story around it. That's just who I am. I like stories. I like storytelling, all of that stuff. So that's what we did with this one. The longest part of this was definitely just building the platform, the station platform building. And this one I did like an actual building, an enclosed building, because I feel like that would be like if you went to Disney World or whatever. I feel like a coaster like this would exist, and it would be inside of an actual building. Yeah, so that's what I did with this one. I thought that would be appropriate, and turns out looked pretty okay. I think I did a pretty decent job, and I think I accomplished what I was trying to do. But again, the support limit thing, the clearance limit for inverted coasters did make this a little bit more challenging than I had thought it might be, but we figured it out, you know. Thankfully, Open RCT is one thing that does make this a little bit easier. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I didn't have Open RCT, this would be a difficult task right here. But I think we got it done. I think it looks pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, this one's, I'm not gonna lie, this one's pretty straightforward. I just built kind of a lot of my roller coaster buildings look a lot like this, in terms of like the shape of it, but I kind of just mix and match different types of pieces and different roof designs and all that stuff. The only thing I messed up was I meant to have, I wanted it to be in an even number of tiles, but I accidentally made it an odd number. So that means basically the only reason why that's an issue is because typically I like having I like the 2 tile signs versus the 1, just because I think it looks a lot cleaner and better, and I don't like that vertical sign. But I wasn't gonna redo the whole thing, so we're just gonna do a vertical sign for this one. And yeah, so this is where we name the coaster 2020 The End. And yeah, it's I'm not gonna lie, that seems appropriate. And one thing that I think I was pretty happy with was I decided to use the fire things from the mechanical whatever. I decided to use the fire and kind of put it down into the ground to kind of, obscure the ring that it comes out of, and it just looks like there's fire everywhere, because that is, if there is an accurate representation of what 2020 feels like, I think that's pretty accurate. It's just that we're all on fire, and that we're just trying to put out one fire, and then there's 9 other ones happening around it. So I think this is a pretty good visual representation of, and trees are dying too. That seems pretty appropriate. Fire and trees dying, and everything's just a little bit too intense. I don't know. This roller coaster is pretty intense. It ended up being a lot more intense than I had planned. But that seems appropriate as well. So, but that's pretty much it for this episode. If you guys liked it, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, whatever. Otherwise, that's going to be it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.